I was going through the Rnosleep community forum on January 18th, 2025, when I stumbled upon the revised guidelines that had taken effect the day before. The changes were subtle, but one section caught my eye: experimental content, permitted with explicit moderator approval. I had always pushed the limits of sleep deprivation, but this new clause made me uneasy. I decided to visit my friend, Dr. Lee, who was a moderator on the forum. As I walked in her office on 5th Street, I noticed something odd. The air conditioning was off, and the windows were wide open, despite the freezing temperature outside. Dr. Lee was sitting at her desk, staring at her screen with an expression I couldn't read. Suddenly, she looked up. The story continues. Follow for part 2. If you're just joining, go back and watch part 1 first. You need the full picture. Remember Dr. Lee looking up from her screen? Her eyes locked onto mine, and for a moment, we just stared at each other. Then she nodded, and I took a seat. I asked her about the new guidelines, and she leaned back in her chair. "It's not just about the content, Alex," she said. "It's about monitoring." She turned her screen towards me, showing a live feed of the Rnosleep community's user activity. I saw usernames I recognized, including my own, but what caught my attention was the deep dive column. It was tracking our sleep patterns, heart rates, and even brain activity. Dr. Lee whispered, "They're watching us, Alex." Suddenly, the lights in the room began to flicker. This story is not over. Part 3 drops next. This is part 3. If you missed what happened before, start from part 1. The lights flickering made Dr. Lee's expression even more sinister. "Let's get out of here," I said, standing up. But Dr. Lee didn't move. She just kept staring at the screen, where my username was now highlighted. "Your sleep deprivation record is impressive, Alex," she said, her voice low. "You're a prime candidate for the deep dive program." I felt a chill run down my spine as she stood up and walked towards the door. It was then that I noticed the door had a new sign, Project Echo. Dr. Lee opened it, revealing a dimly lit stairway. "Come on, Alex," she said. "We're going to take it to the next level." I hesitated, and that's when I heard my own voice whisper yes back to her. If you want to know what happens next, follow now. Part 4 is coming. Before I continue, if you have not seen part 3, go watch it now. Trust me. As I followed Dr. Lee down the stairs, the air grew colder and the silence was oppressive. At the bottom, we entered a room filled with rows of servers and monitoring equipment. Dr. Lee led me to a terminal where my Rnosleep profile was displayed. "You're now part of Project Echo," she said, injecting me with a serum. I felt a burning sensation as the machines around us hummed to life. The screen flickered, showing a message: synchronization initiated. Dr. Lee's smile was the last thing I saw before everything went black. When I came to, I was back in my own bed, but the message on my phone made my blood run cold. "Welcome to Echo. Your sleep is now ours." The case remains open, but now you know the truth. Follow for a new story tomorrow.